Okay, so this is what happened in this timeline. When Tony Stark snaps, he calls on Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, which brings him back to life. Because if you're on the edge of death, right, and you call on Thor's hammer, it can bring you back to life. Evidence: Thor's the first ever Thor movie. Okay, boom, there we go. Okay, and right, and how do I say this, right? Basically, Tony Stark wants to make sure the um the Infinity Stones are stable and they're okay, right? So basically, he does a bunch of tests, right? Frequency tests, all those tests, and then every month, at the beginning and end of every month, he goes to the Infinity Stones and does those tests again, right? And then compares the data to see if there's any differences. And when he does it, he notices that the Infinity Stones frequencies are a lot higher than last time, insanely higher. And they're giving off a lot more gamma radiation, even though they haven't been in use. Right? So he calls on Doctor Strange and Thor. Right? They do a lot more tests together. Right? Right? And eventually, they find out what's wrong. Basically, Tony Stark does a, how do I say this? He does a gamma test of the entire universe. That's what I'm saying, right? He does a test on the universe, to see the universe's frequencies, gamma radiation, all that, right? And he notices that almost every month, no, every year, every year, the gamma radiation, right, and the frequencies of the universe are getting higher and higher, right? Even though they shouldn't be. And Thor realizes what's going on. He tells Tony that this means that someone far beyond their power is coming. He says that when there's somebody who has an immense amount of power, even greater than the Infinity Stones, right? And whenever they approach nearer and nearer, the Infinity Stones, along with the universe, start to act up. Many of the, right, like the gamma radiation, being a lot higher, the frequencies being a lot higher, weirder things starting to happen, right? So, Tony Stark analyzes the energy. Tony Stark analyzes all the types of energy the Infinity Stones have, right? And he notices that there's a new one. It's just grayish black. You can't really name it, right? And he compares it with the Infinity Stone's power, and it is far greater, right? So then Tony Stark realizes, hey, we should probably do something about this. So his first step is to get help. He uses all that energy and everything he knows, right? And he builds a machine. Basically, what this machine will do is that it'll take any substance of energy, right? And then it'll use all the knowledge it has at its disposal, right? To match a universe. That would be the perfect situation to get help from, right? So he puts the energy in. It does a lot of tests. Tony Proof does the test. He makes sure they're correct, and it gets a universe, right? It's the DC universe, right? It's the live action one, the newer one, right? So yeah, yeah, right? So, right? And when the machine is starting up, it has to create a huge beam of energy. Basically, what has to happen is this. You know how, like in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? Wait, no. It's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The first ever, and the animated Miles Morales movie. the titles are getting confusing, right? You know how like they had that giant machine that would blast two energy beams? Basically, it's a replica of that, but there's also two little machines on the bottom and on the top. Basically, it's going to be two big ones right here. They'll shoot energy right here, and then a bottom one right here, and they'll shoot straight down into the center. So basically, they turn the machine on, and it starts to create the universe, right? And they send a message to them. They explain what's going on and how to build the machine, right? So once they build the machine, the universe is, right, it'll work then, right? It'll, since they're both the same machines and they're using the same power and all that, right? Once one opens up and the other one opens up, it can be like a portal, right? Because they don't want to risk the Infinity Stones being taken out of the universe, right? Right? They go in the universe and they go for help, right? While Spider-Man stays in there. But in this universe, S.H.I.E.L.D. kept Ultron in a nearby base. He's in the basement. He can't be turned on, right? They're just keeping him just in case they need him. But also just in case they put nukes and missiles under that base, right? So he tells Captain America and Bucky, so they go, right? Right? So they go there. And also, in this universe, how do I say this? In this universe, how do I say this? In this universe, Captain America is also still alive. He actually returned the Infinity Stones and came back. Right? So he's fine now, right? Right? They go there on a motorcycle, and their task is to either, right? But S.H.I.E.L.D. also knows that if something goes wrong, the frequencies, and the gamma radiation may activate nukes or missiles. So they tell almost every country, every state, almost everyone who has nukes to upgrade them, to make it so then if that does happen, right, then, the nukes will be safe. So what they either need to do is that they either need to upgrade the nukes at Ultron's base, or at S.H.I.E.L.D's base that holds Ultron, or they need to copy the entire consciousness of Ultron onto a USB drive and get out of there. Maybe another one. They need to copy his entire consciousness to 2 USB drives, to have a backup, and then get out of there, or do both if possible. Right? 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 But they only have time to copy the consciousness, right? Before they have to get out of there, because they might need backup at the, at the testing area where they're doing this, in case they need backup, right? And they don't have enough time to resecure the nukes and missiles. So what they do is that they use the 2 USB drives to copy his consciousness. But then Tony Stark realizes that, the energy level, the gamma radiation of this machine is not what it's supposed to be. So they immediately have to come back. But they mistakenly leave 1 USB drive left. Right? Right? They get out of, and then they're running, right? They're running to the motorcycle. But then the machine starts malfunctioning. The Infinity Stones energy that is being used to, how do I say this? They just controlled-V, the Infinity Stones power. It's a replica of it. That energy has been fused with something else far larger. Right? Right? Right, it has been fused with something a lot bigger and more powerful. and the machine starts becoming unstable. So Spider-Man makes an isolated force field around it, around the whole, around, basically, what it's shooting into is in the center, right? All the energy beams are shooting into the center, and that's a portal, right? This force field, now, it stops that, right? He tries to shut down the machine, and, once all of them are back in, right? But he wants to see if the machine can be even shut down in the first place, but it can't be, no matter what they try. So he uses that, right, to hopefully, close the portal, and then they can use the Infinity Stones to get everyone back, right? But it's running on that backup power. It somehow got rerouted to the power that those energy beams are using. So it's using that, and it's still up. And then it goes completely berserk. The frequency and the gamma radiation, it all just starts going past the charts, and a lot of it isn't being stopped by the force field. Most of it is, but not a lot of it. And that is being used. That is going to the right, and that gets intercepted by a lot of nukes and missiles, right? And then for some reason they auto lock onto some coordinates, and then they fire and go off. And then Tony, Captain America, and Bucky, they get on their motorcycle, and they start going, right? He looks back, and he's like, wait, they're trying to get on their motorcycle, but then Captain America says, we have to go back. We forgot that one USB drive. But then they see that the nukes at the base are slowly activating. So they get out of there. Right? Right, so yeah.